AskRedd by SQR 121. Name one thing that would make your perfect TV show even more perfect. About 6 more seasons of Firefly would have been great. I would have been happy with 14 more episodes. Joss stated back then that he had 3 seasons in mind. Seasons 2/3 were the movie. I would have loved to be able to live with that world. Spoilers, The Office, if Andy and Erin stayed together and got married. It's possible that was the plan, but they had to write Ed Helms out of the show for a while when he was filming The Hangover 2. Apparently his inconsistent availability was really annoying for the writers to figure out what to do with his character. I start with The Wire. Love it from beginning to the end, but I always think the very first and very last scene should be Bubbles walking down the road. Don't know why, but it feels for me kind like Bubbles is the show. Oh indeed. Westworld is now a miniseries with only 1 season. 2 seasons maximum. Definitely. If Mindhunter would have had at least 1 more season to tie up the loose ends. Netflix really screwed the pooch on that one. My favorite show is a toss-up between Ted Lasso and The Good Place. I have no idea how to improve upon either. Both were cast perfectly and had me hooked from start to finish. I could have used more Ted in season 3. The Good Place is basically perfect. Opening gambits. Like James Bond intros. MacGyver had them at the start. Kind of a short, standalone, short story. Make the show an experience. And finish it with a helpful tip to keep you safe, like the end of the G.I. Joe cartoons, because, know you know, and knowing is half the battle. The Office, Us. Would have loved to see snippets of Michael and Holly's wedding, as well as a beating between Michael and Robert California. A last scene of Michael with his family would have compensated those last 2 seasons' absence. And Ray Brower was still alive, so they made more seasons. More seasons of Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency would be smashing. Yeah, I could go for that, but admit it, that show started off the rails. At least 1 more season of Breaking Bad showing the aftermath of Walter's reign as Heisenberg and everything after his death. That is El Camino, but in TV show format. Some of it was in the later seasons of Better Call Saul. If you have not watched it yet, you should. The Shield. Remove the flashback episode since it didn't really fit well into the show. And have Vic get more screwed over. Avatar: The Last Airbender, if they continued the story by making another season instead of writing comics. Korra if Nick hadn't strung along the production team and gave them the support leeway befitting one of their most prestigious shows. Remove the OG ending and go with the alternate ending. It's what people wanted. We watched 9 seasons of Ted and Robin not working. My friends had me watching that as it aired, and there were 2 things that stuck out. My girlfriend and I at the time would make a kiss sound whenever Lily and Marshall did something that reminded us of each other. I called the ending within minutes of watching my first episode. So they're at the mom's wake. Ted not getting back together with Robin. Stargate Atlantis needed 5 more seasons. Came here to find people say removing season 9 from Scrubs. I didn't mind season 9, but the ending to season 8 was such a perfect way to say goodbye to the show. If The Tick hadn't been cancelled on a cliffhanger. For The Sopranos, I would simply remove the follow-up movie The Many Saints of Newark from existence. I think you can still have it, but not make it a clusterfuck of 3 different movies in one. Is it a Tony Soprano origin story? Is it a spin-off for Dickie Moltisanti? Or is it a story about the Newark riots of 1967? You can pick one, David. 1. Edit. Now that I remember, I think David Chase just wanted to cover the 1967 New York riots, but HBO made him make it a Sopranos movie. True Detective Season 1. I don't want to change anything. It's perfect as it is. I'll offer you what I think would have been a better ending, and Rust's kinda lame. Character breaking the light is winning. Paraphrasing. Quote. Post credits. Rust and Marty pull up to some crack house looking abode, check some paperwork, and have a classic Rust and Marty conversation before getting out of the car. And maybe there's a close up of Marty removing the safety from a hip holstered gun as they head towards the door. The rest is left up to your imagination, but effectively, the inference is that they're just going around finishing what they started. Marty said to Rust in the hospital, "We got ours, but there are others out there, so why stop, right?" It doesn't need to be explicitly shown, but I like the idea that they feel a compulsion to hunt down cultists and murderers and peders, because it's in their natures to do so. Anyway, I do agree that it's a perfect show. But something about that hospital car park conversation just never felt entirely satisfying to me, the way it slightly broke Rust's character. More episodes. Elaine and Puddy's on again, off again relationship should have been a thing for the entire run of the show. Giving Eva a segment after congratulations that explains what, exactly, the last 2 episodes were. Change the actors for Gustavo, Hector and Donna Ladio and BB. The first 2 speak awful Spanish, the last one speaks with a Cuban accent. If even one character would point out his hypocrisy. Dawson's Creek. Pacey expressed interest in Joey first. He knew Joey liked Dawson, so made sure Dawson didn't feel the same and was cool with Pacey making a move. Later on, when Dawson did like Joey, he never said a word to Pacey until after making a move on Joey. A year later, when Pacey gets another shot with Joey and this time she likes him back, Dawson is a dick about how you didn't talk to me first. No one ever points out that Dawson's the only one of the 2 that's never for a second considered Pacey's feelings.